Whether you've been at home with the kids for 1 month or 10 years, going back to work can be daunting. So here are my top 5 tips to help you on your way. Tip number 1 is to decide what it is you're actually looking for. Okay, job section. We are looking for fulfilling jobs that are school hours and term time only. No. The job that was right for you pre-kids isn't necessarily the same job that's right for you now. Your priorities may have changed, the amount of stress that you want to take on may have changed. You also need to factor in the cost of childcare versus what money you'll be bringing in. There's so much to consider, and it's just about finding the right choice that's going to work for you and your family financially, logistically, mentally, all of those things. So spend a bit of time thinking about what it is you actually want to do. Tip number 2 is to take a little bit of time to regain your confidence in yourself, regain your own identity.
Thanks for coming in today. Could you introduce yourself?
Of course, I am Harry's mum. Oh, sorry, you meant my name. Being a mum is so all-encompassing and all-consuming that it's easy to lose yourself. So spend a bit of time building up your confidence in yourself. All those skills that you had pre-kids, you still have. They're in there somewhere. They may be a little rusty, but you can do this. Tip number 3 is polishing up that CV. Okay, and then 2012 to present. Okay, you got a little bit of a gap. It might only be a short one, it might be years and years and years long, and you look at that bit of paper and go, what am I gonna say? If you Google it, there are people online who put kind of funny things in, like CEO of my family, expert in child rearing. I mean, it depends on the job you go for, whether you think humour will be appreciated in that situation. For me, I think the better approach is just to be quite professional about it and quite straightforward about it. I personally don't like titles like housewife, homemaker. That just doesn't sit with me that well. I would just put stay-at-home mother, and then a brief explanation. I took these years to stay at home with my however many children, and I am now making the choice to return to the workplace. That's fine. That is perfectly viable and perfectly reasonable and perfectly professional. Don't feel that you have to cover up these years that you've been out of the job market. You've been doing a valuable thing, so don't apologise for it. Put it there loud and proud. So now you have a job. Congratulations! We talked a little bit about preparing yourself in terms of getting your confidence back and claiming your identity back. You also need to prepare your kids in terms of the fact you're going to be away from them. Are there going to be childcare situations? But also you need to prepare your employer. There is no point in pretending to your employer that you are not a mother of children.
Mommy, I can feel very well.
I know, darling, but shh, Mummy's working, okay? Here, good boy, have some apple. Good boy. There will be days when your children are sick and you need to take last minute time off. There will be days when there is a school event that you really want to go to and you want to request whether you can work through lunch and maybe leave a bit early or have a little bit more flexibility in that sense. If you've cleared that kind of thing, not necessarily in detail but vaguely with your employer in advance, when those situations come up, they're going to be easier to handle and easier to navigate. If you find your employer is totally inflexible on those things, that's quite a good thing to know in advance because it may make you reconsider whether this job is right for you. And my very last tip is to give yourself a little bit of time to settle back into the workplace. Yeah, I'll just transfer you now. Why does this phone have so many buttons? With my eldest, I took 18 months off, and when I went back to work, it was to a new job, so I had kind of a learning process anyway. With my second, I was off for 9 months, and I went back to the same job I'd been at before, and I thought, this is gonna be a breeze, I'll just snap back into it. Not so much. I took, I would say, about 6 months to feel like I wasn't just keeping my head above water. Nothing felt natural anymore, nothing was second nature anymore. Considering I would say I wasn't off for that long, I was surprised at how long it took me to shake off baby brain or whatever you want to call it and feel like I knew what I was doing again. So be prepared to be a bit kind to yourself and a little bit easy on yourself that this might take longer to get used to than it previously would have, but you will get there. And that's it. Those are my top 5 tips to returning to the workplace. Hope you found this useful. If you have any tips for any other mums, please do put them in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Please subscribe to see more. And I'll see you very soon. Bye. This phone has a cord. What am I supposed to do with this?